welcome back to a very new video. But if you're new, my name is Katja and this channel is my online diary about thousands of lives that I want to live through music, travel, language studies, books, basically all things that I love in life. Today it's Friday, October 17, meaning new music came out like basically the whole month thus. I am super happy that some of my favorite artists are coming out with new albums, but it also has been a lot. Thankfully though, they all do different genres. Like today, I got something in from the music that came out today that I'm super excited about. It is from the Pyre by The Last Dinner Party. I was obsessed with their debut. They have this sound that I haven't heard in a while. Like, this was more a hot era back in a very long time, even before I was born, and it's Baroque rock. They are incredible, and they talk about different topics with... It's a different way of storytelling. They tell a story, but it's so relatable in even nowadays. But it's also very... how do I even describe it? Their music is just something else, and I'm happy that they get to do a lot of festivals and they're gonna be on tour soon. Are they? No, they're not yet. I mean, I have talks about them because I had to decide if I wanted to go to them or to Leve. And I decided to go with Leve just because I could get VIP and also because I could sit. That was actually the most important factor, y'all. I could sit. And this would have been a standing concert mostly. I know there are seatings, but you don't know if you're able to get it. But alas, I still adore them. It was just, I had to pick, and they are playing the same night in the Netherlands, just on opposite ends of the street. And yeah, I mean, I was too happy when I was able to get Leve tickets and then VIP and then seating, and then I was like, you know what, it's just meant to be, and one day I will catch this group somewhere else. I am sure about it. So as of right now, I have listened to this album just one run through, and none of the songs is really like, okay, I need to talk about this one specifically. I more want to talk about the fact that they take their time. Like, it's not a 2-minute and 30-second song. No, every song is at least 3:30. What? Most songs are even over 4 minutes on here. And I know it's just 10 songs, but those 10 songs are almost 50 minutes. Let that sink in, because you don't hear that a lot nowadays. And I'm so happy that there are artists nowadays that are like, no, we're not gonna make those short songs. No, we take our time with our storytelling. And I think that it's especially important with artists like The Last Dinner Party, who make these concept albums, are very strong storytellers and bring that out on these albums. So that has been the most significant thing so far. Do I already have a faith? Even though I said what I just said? I think this is the killer speaking is quite fun, to be honest. I don't know what that says about me. I probably don't even want to know. So I will give this album quite a few more listens during the duration of this vlog, and I will talk about this album more so by the end of it. But yeah, I do love them. I think their music is such a fresh breath of air nowadays, and yeah, it has been incredible. And I also love that they came out with this album in October, Halloween month. That's also why I'm so freaking excited for Florence and the Machine with Everybody Scream. I haven't pre-ordered that one, but I really want to. Maybe I should just bite the bullet and get it. Anyway, what more am I going to talk about during the duration of this vlog? Language studies, books, maybe some other hobbies, because I'm able to have other hobbies again. Since yesterday I finished up a very big work project, and I couldn't be more happy because I had honestly so much fun during the project, but I was also getting really tired. I've been working non-stop, also a lot of weekends and evenings ever since April. And then mostly when it's October, everything dies down until it's spring again. Like in my freelance work field, there are always projects that I'm working on, but I don't have the bigger projects. So the bigger projects are done, and now I can focus on some smaller projects. Also a lot of creative projects. I cannot wait. Anyway, that was the intro. Let's get the rest of the vlog started. Good morning, everyone. If you hear something in the background, well, everyone in this neighborhood, including us, are blowing their leaves away, and since we all have lots of land, it takes a while and it gets loud. So if you hear something, it are all those collective leaf blowers blowing together. Anyway, yesterday evening I received a package from the Pyre, the LP version, and I really wanted to get this one because it was special edition and it's glow in the dark. And I thought, not gonna lie, I thought the LP was gonna be green, not realizing it's only green when it's glowing in the dark. Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. I'm actually considering buying an LP, well, basically those, but where hello, focus. Sorry, it's focusing on my hand. Anyway, over here. Those LP frames, but then when the LP comes out of there, like you have the LP cover art and then next to it the LP thingy. I really want to get that one, and I found someone who does that in the Netherlands. The thing is, they have to be custom made, but that's fine. I think it would be so lovely, and I mean, it's gonna be for my new room, so I think it's gonna be my present for them. Would be nice, right? Anyway, I was also not expecting that the album would come with a big poster, and it's double-sided. Let me show you guys. Oh, please no, I will clean it. Don't worry about it. Okay, here we go. Yes! So it's basically the same cover art as the city. Oh, a land mower will go on. Yes, and that's my mom. Mowing the lawn. Anyway, then we have the sleeve. I think this is so genius to come up with like the representations for each song this way, because it's so creative and looks so theatrical. Yes, okay, lovely. Cannot wait. Oh yeah, I also like the back a lot. I only don't know, especially because I would love this to especially show the LP off. Maybe I'm gonna put something else in the middle. Maybe I'm gonna need to put Taylor in the middle. The Life of a Showgirl, the LP I've got from her. And I will show this off in a different way. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, I'm super happy that this arrived. Sunday Shenanigans is officially on. The Sserafim just dropped The Kick, kind of a trailer announcement of J-Hope joining them on their track Spaghetti, and I think this collab will work perfectly. I cannot wait till Friday. Like, so much music will be dropping that day. I cannot wait. So, when I said in the last clip, like, Sunday Shenanigans is on, this is not what I meant. I was kidding. I was just very happy that J-Hope is joining the Spaghetti track and that it was gonna be a fun song. I was not meaning to say like, oh yeah, something else will happen, something crazy. No. But what did Stray Kids decide after they finished their encore? Oh, let's drop a trailer. So here we are. Stray Kids dropped their trailer, Do It, for their next comeback in November. I thought their next comeback was gonna be called Pathway, and it was gonna happen on the 19th of December, like we all thought, right? When we were watching the Karma music video. But no, we're getting something else. I'm amazed though. This is such a good trailer. Probably one of their very best. This is so artsy. It's incredible. Let me show you guys what I've been reading during this vlog. So first up we have the Apothecary Diaries. This is the light novel, second volume. Yo, I love this one so much. I love in general this whole story. It all started for me with the manga, then I moved to the anime, and now I'm also reading the light novel just because so many people were saying, oh, you're missing details when you don't read the light novel. And to everyone who says that, yes, you're right. I love the light novel so incredibly much. It's, how do I even put it? There is so much that I love. Not just the details, but it's also the storytelling. I wished I could already speak Japanese or at least read it, because I'm curious how certain things are translated. Because the unique word count in this light novel is almost unheard of in most romances that are put on the shelves in bookstores and whatnot, because most romances don't actually have a high word count. Well, let me tell you, this light novel has a very high unique word count, and it plays with words in ways that I'm like, oh, this must have been a headache to translate. So that's why I'm wondering, like, okay, how are the Japanese sentence structures and how does everything flow together so well? Yeah, I guess that's a good reason for me to learn Japanese. Oh dear. Consuming this story in 4 ways is gonna be a thing, I guess. I mean, I read the manga in German. I consume the anime depending if the subs, or the dub, I mean, if the dub is already out in English, I actually listen to it in English just because I love the voices so much. But if they aren't, I'm happy to do so in Japanese. And the light novel, I read it in English. So, yay for me for being a language learner, because it really works. Well, yeah, diving into this story. And I'm also listening to the audiobook The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Bedthurst. So I know that the last scene was actually me updating you guys on what I've been reading, but on this very hump day, aka Wednesday, I need to give another update, because I have been more reading this week than actually anything else, because anything else was me being busy with a lot of moving, housing stuff. I won't get into it, but I did finish volume 2 of the Apothecary Diaries. I am still busy with the audiobook that I showed. But yeah, I'm finished, and I already started volume 3. That's where I'm at. I'm so freaking happy. I love this universe so much. Like, I want to spend so much time in this universe, like watching the anime, reading the manga, reading the light novel. It's just such a fascinating world to me, because it has everything that I like. It's historical, it has mystery, there's romance, there's intrigue, there are fascinating characters that I just can't stop reading. So I'm sorry if this is a little bit boring to you guys, because I've been talking about, whoa, there were loud motors in the background. Anyway, like, I've been talking about this series so much, but yeah, I just love it so much. And as of right now, there aren't that many fictional books that are like not a light novel that I am into reading. I don't know what's up though. I actually do have an idea. It's just lately the books just haven't been hitting for me personally. So I just really like to spend time with these kinds of books and stories. Welcome to the wrap-up part of this video. So, I have been doing a lot of speech practices. Not on camera. I'm sorry, I'm not just there yet. I don't feel very comfortable. I am recording it for myself to see where I'm at and also to see my growth in the duration of a certain period of time. However, to share it on camera, that's something else. I might consider doing it next year. I think next year I will be at a good place. Also next year I definitely want to speak more German on camera overall because I have so many fun things planned for next year. Anyway, excuse me, I've definitely spoke way too much, so my voice is a little bit cracked. Here we are. My speech, it's going well. It's quite funny though with Korean that sometimes the sound goes better in my head than when it leaves my mouth. So every muscle in my face still needs to get used to certain words, how it is pronounced in the Korean language, which is quite funny. Like, I can do it right in my head, but it goes away when I practice. But then again, it's a good thing because at least I understand how it should sound, even if my mouth isn't being able to make it just yet. I do know how to practice it better, and I'm doing so every day, almost every day though. With German, I was very lucky actually on Thursday. I didn't film that day, but I'm so sorry. It was a crazy day. But I did went to Germany with my mom. We did some shopping. Well, we were actually looking at what we might want when it comes down to style for our next house. So it was quite funny because she learned so many new words that you normally don't use in your daily vocabulary, but you have to be able to use them when looking for certain stuff. The thing is, we live right next to the border of Germany, so it's very easy access for us. Actually, it's closer by than the next city for us. And Germany in general is most of the time much cheaper, so it's nice to look there. I actually got some pillowcases because for my next room I definitely want to keep the purplish color, but I want to do something with silver because I won't have this beautiful silver gray, what it's called in English. It's not paint, it's the other thing. It's what you put on the wall. Anyway, you probably know what I mean. But everything will be painted in this lilac color, just because the walls are better suited for that rather than doing that other thingy, that one. So I want to incorporate silver in a different way. So I found this beautiful silver gray pillowcases. Perfect. But yeah, we had to ask certain things in the store, so that was fun. Get into conversation. So I definitely practiced my speech also in regards to German as well. Anyway, let's talk about the last dinner party and their record. So I have my notes ready. Once again, I will also link down below because I already wrote the essay. Yes, I was fast this time. So that is the reason why I will be looking at the screen a lot. So here we go. Debut. This is not their debut, but I will first talk a little bit about debut because something that was so special to me on that album was that it immediately hits you on first listen. And that's something that you want to have happen during your first record, especially as an indie artist. So people get to know you, right? And people are immediately tuned in. And that is so different from the Pyre because it is slower. But it does get better with every listen. The first album was a little bit rough around the edges, but their second album is more fine-tuned. However, even though those things coexist, I am afraid that certain things got lost in translation, because the albums are very similar when it comes down to sound. And I don't know if that was the right choice to do that immediately as their second album. On the other hand, I do understand, because the second album, I think, even as a writer, your second book, your second creation will always be the hardest thing to do, because you have to top what was before, you have to show growth, you have to set yourself apart from the rest, you have to find your tone of voice, but then again, you also have to do the growth. So I don't think they could have won anything with this album, and especially the fact that they had to change producer, because I do want to mention that having a producer is very important for a musical artist, because they help you with so many things, and that they had to change this person up during this album because of health issues, unfortunately. That makes it incredibly rough, and I'm wondering if that's the reason why certain things got lost in translation, because this album, it is quite grand in many ways, but certain parts of their growth couldn't reach certain things. So let me do a deep dive into why I think that. What doesn't help is that From the Pyre doesn't contain a lot of tracks that come across as immediately snappy and melodic. The record is asking the audience to be patient, which makes sense because the message behind this album is more nuanced and ambitious. So that is incredibly cool. It's more, however, something you would expect from a third album, not necessarily from a second album. But then again, they do set themselves apart with going what works for them, and I think we also should applaud that. Also, something that I mentioned in my own essay is that I do hate to compare works of art from the same artist, because all their works are chapters in their life. However, as a listener, I couldn't help but look at these works just because I want to understand their growth and why I feel the way about this album. Because yeah, I have so many thoughts on this album. Their first album, debut, was very straightforward with their lyrics. Their latest release has stepped up the game with not serving the whole meal at once, but rather feeding the listener with small courses in time. Actually, that makes Prelude to Ecstasy the afternoon snack, doesn't it? I already mentioned in the intro of this video that This Is the Killer Speaking was the track that immediately hit me, and it stood out to me because it actually signifies what I just mentioned. You wouldn't guess from the title that it is about someone who ghosts you, so you become the killer. How clever. The energetic tempo changes and burst of instrumentation that comes through on this chorus makes this song very moody and quickly understood at the same time. You do have the straightforward rockers like Counterways, but there are many more tracks on this album where the band explores song structure and dynamics, extending things out into winding progressions and huge instrumental climaxes. The results of this move can be a hit or miss, like on the song Rifle, which suffers from underwhelming verses. Even though the contrast in the choruses, the song presents amazing howling group vocals, so that was really cool, but yeah, it could use some tweaks here and there. Personally, to me, I think the album lacks clear direction in details because they got lost in details. Creating a work of art is constantly zooming in and out of the bigger picture of work to the details and back again. It's so a translation between the two gets so easily lost, and I think that's also what happens here. A great example for this one is Woman is a Tree, which doesn't feel like a song as much as it does like a soundtrack piece or an interlude that was extended out a bit too long. The sharp message and melody get lost in the grand setup, and it makes me so sad because I know that they can reach that. It's just not there as of yet. So I wished they took more time on this album, because I think that they could have reached it if they stayed with this album a little bit longer, and fine-tune it in different ways, because the overall sound is amazing. That's already great, but getting everything together, yeah, certain things do get lost then in that translation process. But yeah, then again, I do have to say, I know in the current state of the world, it's very much like you snooze, you lose mentality, which offers no grace to any artist to come out with music, and that saddens me so much, because like I said, I think that they would have benefited more, so much more, to take another year to make this album. But then again, they probably run out of money, because that's a big fear of a lot of artists. And if you run out of money, what to do next? Because maybe you can't go on a certain tour, or you can't go to a certain festival, so you get paid, so you get more studio time, you can do this, you can do that. So they most likely had to put out this album so they can have money come in again. And it really saddens me. I wish we would come at a certain place that the ask wasn't as big, and also that people just stay with an artist, like that they will wait. I mean, there are so many great artists, so you can be fan of so many great artists, and that should be fine. So you have the time to wait, and yeah, it annoys me. But then again, also the money issue. It must be super hard to be an artist nowadays. I can't imagine. Like, not every artist can easily take off a few years. I mean, even Taylor Swift. She is incredibly wealthy nowadays. But even she puts out a lot of music. And even though she said like, yeah, but I have this certain pace and everything goes well, and I also have the feeling that I want to put out albums, but she does it in the end as well. And the fact that such a grand artist like her puts out that much music, I can't imagine how it must feel for the smaller artists to see that happen. Anyway, that's a rant actually for another time. Even though Debut remains my favorite from the last dinner party, From the Pyre felt like an elevation beyond what they did on their first album. Especially when it comes down to delivering grand displays of instrumentation and layers. And that they are great musicians, that's no question. They are. But bringing it all home together, that's something that they definitely should work on. Or, I mean, they should do whatever they want. But that's more my take on this album. Nevertheless, it does get better with every listen. Even when I was doing deep dives into the meaning of certain lyrics parts and also the music videos, I did find myself being like in awe, because they are such young artists, but they are creating works that go so beyond the norm of the genre they are in, and that is so incredible to me. Anyway, so even though yes, I am very critical about this album, I also think this work is amazing at the same time. I just have a certain connection with debut that isn't being replicated as of yet. But I will follow The Last Dinner Party for whatever works comes next because they are amazing artists. Okay, I hope you have an amazing day today. I hope to see you watching my next vlog because there are so many music related things coming up, and also other stuff like me moving and traveling next year. So yeah, have a wonderful day and I hope to see you next time. Bye!